Hello everyone. I am going to just post this video later, so I won't wait for anyone to get into the chat or anything like that. In this video, I'm going to call myself out. I've been very sincere, very honest about how I feel when it comes to my Christian walk and that sort of thing. And um, I just wondered, I was listening to Wes Huff, reading the Bible this morning in prayer, and I was just wondering, like, what if I'm wrong and I'm leading people astray? And it wasn't so much like a doubt in my path. I think it was just a moment of honesty. And I do a great job of saying, hey, look, this is what I think about it. There's no judgment here or whatever. And of course, I'm very critical of the church because it's easy to criticize an organization that tries to stand in the place of God if a church ever tries to do that. Not all churches do that. And generally, Christian church understands that it is the wife of Christ and it's not actually God itself. It's just, but sometimes I find that the church tries to be an intercessor or an intermediary, and Christ is the only intercessor. The Holy Spirit speaks to us clearly. We don't need an organization to translate that. But there is expertise in the religious organization. There is an understanding of ancient texts and the Bible, like a real understanding, not a Billy Carson understanding, but a Wes Huff version of understanding. Again, not that Billy Carson's great. He has his own thing and he's serving his community and his followers in his way. But listening to Wes Huff and then going back through it and looking at concordances and commentaries, and of course I don't have my entire library at my fingertips right now, and many of the books that I had to use in my doctorate you won't find online at all. You won't find PDFs of them. You have to buy them. You have to have them. And so and they're all in storage, and so I don't have access to them immediately, so I can't go through and do a deep dive, but I'm still promoting ideas like, John 10:34 and 35 says that you are God's, and that's the supreme law. And I understand that, and I've done the research on that many times, but I went back through it and I said, okay, well, maybe my non-conventional approach is leading people astray. It's supporting a new age ideology, which again, I was a big part of, and I still am to a great extent because I'm an individual and that works for me so far. Well, as far as I know it, God will change that probably at some point. Um, and what I've written in my book, Hey God, Wake the Fuck Up, is something I genuinely I believe in. I don't think that God is limited by the moralistic lens that Christianity or Islam or any religion has created. And so geopolitical Christianity is what I really care about, and it's something that I feel called to at this time. And despite noticing that there's very few people that are picking up on it, despite noticing that, again, it's a smaller channels and there's a lot of noise out there. So, and I'm not deterred by that. If this message reaches one person and inspires one person, uplifts one person, even though it's reaching no people right now, 0 people right now, then I'm pleased. I do feel joy for that. Obviously, want it to reach a larger audience. And I know that it will reach a larger audience. But before it does, I think it's important for me to be honest, which I feel that I have been. And I think it's important for me to be humble as well. And I hate the word humble. It's just because it just seems insulting. Honestly, it seems pretentious. And I hate pretentiousness or pretension. I hate it. And being humble and humility to me are pretentious and disgusting. And so I'm using that word with, just understand the context, okay? What I mean is with submission to God. I'm coming here with submission to God. I want God to lead my path, and the real God, not the God of fairy tales, not the sky phantom, but the real God, the real power that does drive reality and life and the cosmos, the real animating principle that is consciousness. And so that's my desire. That's what drives me to do this. And if you're the one person watching this, I hope it touches you and uplifts you and encourages you. Yeah, I'll continue to do this until, I can't do it anymore. There's room in this world for all of us. And I know there's room in this world for me to live the life that feels like home. I'm not waiting for a sky phantom to come and to go off to a magical fairy tale place. I don't buy into that. I don't think my soul could ever connect with that ideology or that dogma. I have been to heaven, in my own way, in this physical world, but also in dream state. I've before I ever explored mind altering substances, but I did experience what I knew to be heaven and a place of beauty and harmony and love and divine order. And I knew that from childhood, and there are times when I feel that now. And so I want to encourage people to find that for themselves, because I know God speaks to all of us differently. And and that's what I know to be the apex human awakening. When you are listening to God speaking to you, you can call it the universe, even though the universe is a dead, useless mirror. It doesn't do anything for anybody ever, has never done anything for anyone, but turn people into dirt. It's the only thing the universe has ever done. But, the creator, the source being, we'll call it the source code if you get triggered by hearing God. But God, the source code, speaks to all of us differently because we're all manifestations of Him. We're all children of Him. And so geopolitical Christianity really matters to me in this way. I've looked around the world. I've been around the world, and I have more travel to do. I've not been to every country or every continent yet, but I have more travel to do. I have more learning to do, and God is guiding this process. And so I'm going to close out with a little thing that you can find on the website for this book, and it is about the geopolitical Christianity. What it actually is because I'm the person that kind of coined the term. I don't see it anywhere else on the internet. So yeah, I'm a geopolitical Christian, and perhaps you are too. If the things that I'm about to read make sense to you, then maybe you are as well. So, of course, I'm going to put a plug for my book because I love it. It was an amazing thing, and make sure you get Hey God, Wake the Fuck Up. All right, I'm going to read this, and then I'm going to shut the fuck up. Welcome to Geopolitical Christianity, where philosophical insights meet practical faith. This approach to Christianity is based on the understanding that we are entering a golden age of apex human awakening. Our core beliefs are universal heritage, which means that the Bible is the heritage of all nations and religions, serving as humans as a human optimization matrix for everyone. The Bible belongs to everybody. And yes, the Christian church has a better grasp of what it means and what it's saying. Some of the Jewish Jewish scholarly sources also understand that. So I would put that in the hands of those people. I'm just going to get deep into studying and learning. But anyway, I'll read the next part. So our core beliefs are universal heritage of the Bible, the divine source code, which is God, Jesus, our intercessor, and the Holy Spirit as the guide. The divine source code, God, is the fundamental source from which all material manifestations in the cosmos arise. Everything comes from the source code, which is God. The source code is conscious. The source code recognizes us. And when we speak of ourselves the way the source code speaks of us, we are aligned with the source code. And I notice whenever people engage with Yahweh in the Bible, Yahweh tends to, especially those who are like accusational, or like when Satan approached Yahweh and said humanity is messed up, it's fallen, and Yahweh was like, no, it's not. I mean, look at Job. Job's going to prove you wrong. And the serpent went to Adam and Eve and said, you guys are sinners, you're lowly, you're not going anywhere. The source code, God said, who told you were naked? Like, who told you were inappropriate, basically? Because they were like, oh, we're naked, so we hid out of fear. And I believe it was Yahweh, but it might have been Elohim. I think that's the Elohist part of the Genesis account. But anyway, the forces that run reality said, there's nothing wrong with you. And just as that is like, just as I understand that, there's nothing wrong with my journey here. There's nothing wrong with my path. Everything is in its perfect way. Jesus is the intercessor. He's the one and only intercessor. He acts as the intercessor or the interface between the divine source code, which is God the Father, and humanity. The Holy Spirit is the guide. The Holy Spirit is the inner gut, the inner genius, the gut feeling, that inner knowing that everyone has. When you enter a situation, you deal with something, and you know that it's good or bad or for you. That's the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is the inner genius that provides wisdom, clarity, confidence, knowledge, joy, enthusiasm, and flow. And this is what helps us to achieve our dreams and desires. So that's kind of what I have to say about that. I'll close off with this. Geopolitical Christianity is the apex human awakening, which requires a practical, purposeful, and personal spiritual walk. God the Father, this approach emphasizes a personal connection with God the Father through Jesus, our intercessor. This relationship is primary and supersedes institutional churches or organizational structures. So that's what I have to say about that. Got things to do. Merry Christmas to everyone that's celebrating that. I don't know why Christmas is such a controversial holiday. Some people say it's a pagan holiday, and then people that are pagans and clearly godless say that it's a Christian holiday. Merry Christmas.